As of January 2026, nearly 30% of 8th graders failed at the National Reading Benchmark, NAEB. In other words, if you took 100 8th graders and put them in front of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, odds are 33 of them wouldn't know what to do with it. It sounds crazy, but it's true. A large variety of factors cause a staggering disparity in children's literacy rates. So, with all that, where does the answer lie? It sounds like a daunting task, near impossible, but I have a solution, and it lies with the parents. And of course, the four-way test will be giving me a hand in solving this conundrum. Is it the truth? Short answer, yes. But the long answer is a complex one. Walk with me for a second. In the past few years, I've noticed a staggering increase in what I like to call iPad parents. You know, the type of parents that see their kid be bored and figure an iPad use one is the perfect solution. And of course, this is an okay, temporary fix. Truly, all this does is rob your kid of a genuine, varied childhood. In addition to robbing your kid of a genuine childhood, it robs them of critical thinking skills they should be getting during these years. You want more proof? Look up teacher quitting on TikTok or Instagram. Now, normally this would be anything special. I mean, people quit their profession all the time. But it's the reasons I want to dive into here. The kids aren't learning. Time and time again, we see education professionals talking about the lack of effort in classrooms, how lackadaisical the kids are, how they simply can't do some of the work. Now, of course, there can be your extenuating circumstances and special cases, but I believe the majority of the time, this comes from a lack in parenthood. My parents were raised off constant interaction, always being there in the kid's life. I was raised the same way. With this constant interaction, you get to crush these bad behaviors at an early age before they become bad habits at an older age. I believe this is the most important thing you can be doing with your child during these developmental stages. Is it fair to all concerned? I'm sure you know my answer. Not to speak out of my generation, but my mother would often talk about how she used to play outside with her friends, play with her siblings, and spend time with her mother. Now, of course, they built their relationship personally, but more importantly, it taught her things. Taught her about physics, taught her about pain, taught her about life. These are the kind of things that, while it may be invisible to people on the outside, they pay off in spades on the inside. The most unfair thing I can think of is a child born to a parent who doesn't care. Planned or not, every child deserves a parent whose every move is guided by love, who leads with intent, teaches with care, and above all else would stop at nothing to give their kid the best chance they have in this world. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? I can't think of a better example of goodwill and a good relationship than a loving parent and a cared-for child. Because, and excuse the cliche line, the time's gonna be gone before you know it. I go off to college in just a few months, and my mother is seething every day at the fact that she didn't get more time with baby me. Now, did she have 18 years with him? Sure, but that's a different point. The point I'm trying to make here is that the time flies, but it flies with purpose. You are the wings to guide the baby bird that is your child, and it is your duty, your responsibility to give them everything you have so they can give the world everything they've got. Is it beneficial to all concerned? Let's get personal. When I was a child, my parents had one goal for me before I started schooling. That I'd be able to read and write at a first grade level. Now mind you, I wasn't even 5 at this point. I mean, this sounds like a crazy task in such a short amount of time. Basically, it sounds really hard, right? When I tell you this was the easiest parts of raising me, I mean it. I mean, truly, it was 50% reading books to me and 50% having me read it back. I mean, these are some of those foundational moments of my childhood, yet they are so simple and practical. I don't know who I would be if it weren't for my parents and their stellar efforts towards my personality, my morals, but most importantly, my education. I like to end off with a quote from my grandfather. They can take your house, they can take your car, they can take your clothes, they can even take your money, but they can't take what you know, especially what you know from your parents. Remember, you are their first teacher.